Okay. So let's talk about in detail today about the collection framework. So what is collection framework? And one second, guys. Yeah. So as we discussed yesterday, we started talking about the collection framework. Uh, so first, let's talk about what is the. I think we started talking about what is the main purpose of the collection framework. Okay, what are the disadvantages we faced in the general data types, and after that array list. Sorry, not array list, guys. Arrays, and after that we try to discuss about the collection framework. Okay, so first of all, you guys know that what is data type. Data type is a data
Temporary.
type. What? Yeah,
Yes,
yeah. So data type are used to declare a variables
variables, sir.
store the data. Okay, variable is nothing but a temporary memory location. But we are talking about collection framework also a data type. Just assume that every class in the Java is a data type. Okay, so we have to handle the data three ways. We are till now we understood two ways. One is simply declaring a variable and assign the data, and the second way is arrays. So handle the group of values into a single variable. Okay, so that's what we understood, and we faced a lot of. We understood the what are the issues by using that, right? So let me start with the collection framework, guys. Okay, the collection framework is the solution to handle a group of values without wasting the memory. Okay, so it is a global, like based on your adding. So if you are keep on adding the values or objects into that collection object, so then that object will keep on increasing, and when the moment when you are removing those elements, the object will keep on decreasing. So in this case, what is the main biggest advantage is we no need to specify the size in advance. So because you no need to specify the size in advance, in the sense means, so you don't know, right? So how many elements will be added? It's all dynamic process. That is the one problem you don't face here. And also the memory wastage will not happen. As much as you use, that much of memory will be occupied in the RAM level. Okay, so collection framework. So generally, what is meaning of collection? You guys know that, right? What is meaning of collection? Collection is a group of group of objects. Let's say this is the collection object. Okay, so collection object. Before going to that, let me have one object. This is 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 one object. Okay, so like this, we have objects created. Okay, so altogether, if we keep or reference in one object, so then we can call it as a that is a collection. Okay, so let me, this is obj1. It could be any object, guys. Could be any object. Obj1, obj2, obj3, obj4, obj5, obj6. Okay, so this, I think it can be anything. Object in the sense means any value which holds some object, right? So it can. So let's say I want to handle this. Let's say these are the this can be anything. I will discuss later. Okay. So let's say what is collection now. So these are the individual objects which we have already, I want to work on this object. I want to process this on object. I want to add into some bucket. So that is nothing but let's assume this is the collection object. Okay, collection. Collection object. So this is the collection object where you can store that. So just assume that you already have the your individual objects, and you have the, because when the object is created, you guys know that some memory will be occupied. Am I right? So the moment when the JVM is created, the object, so the memory will be occupied. Am I right? Okay. So where the memory will be occupied, guys? Where the object memory will be occupied? Guys, please respond. So where generally, if you create any object and when by the JVM, where that memory will be occupied in our system? Guys, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I think you are able to hear me, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Now, so let's say it's a general question. Whenever I create an object, so when by the JVM, where the memory will be occupied?
Heap area, sir.
Yes, it's an heap area. It's overall, I can say it's a RAM. So RAM, inside RAM, JVM memory. You knows that what is JVM memory, right?
Sir.
Yeah, good. So the JVM memory is nothing but the memory which is used by the JVM while running the dynamically. So in the RAM, okay. So in RAM, not only JVM, many other programs also will use that. Other programs also will use that. But the memory which is used by the JVM, we can call it as a JVM memory. Inside JVM memory, the object there will be a different blocks. You know that JVM architecture I explained in the starting of the fundamental classes. So there, the heap area, the memory will be occupied. Okay, so the moment when occupied the memory, there should be some address. Let's say this address is 12345. Okay, so like this, for each object, there should be a different addresses. There should be a different address like this. Okay, so like this. Okay, so now you understood the fundamental thing. Like when you create object, there will be some address will be there in that memory location. So now what I did is I created a collection object. Okay, I am not explaining programmatically here. I'm just explaining high level. So we will come to the programs, then you will understand mm, clearly. The collection object. Let's assume this is the collection object. So this collection object is also one object. Okay, this is also one of the objects. Okay, so this object is also will have will have some address. Let's say this is the address. Okay, this is the address. So now we have individual objects and collection objects. So what is the use of the moment when you add? So let's say this object is collection object name is uh, obj. Obj is the collection, or else if you want a proper name, control yeah. So let's say this is the collection object. See, okay. See, the address is something like that 45763. Okay. Now we have a object is C, right? The moment you add, like if you want to add, so like this, you will add it obj1. Okay. So like this, C dot add of obj2. Like, okay. So now, so this is for example, like this, we will add all the objects, like up to objects, all individual objects. So now what I did is I created individual objects and then I have created a collection object. So to this collection object, I added. So how that will be stored in the collection object? And graphically, I'm trying to explain you guys. This with the moment when you create an object, I mean the object memory will be occupied and all these things. You know that. So the moment you added the object in the collection, it will not go and store here. It will not go and store here. Please remember that the moment you add c dot add of obj1. So this means, so this code means, what is the meaning of this code is, you are trying to add that individual object to a collection object. That's fine. But you don't think that that object is going to move and store here. So it will be stored there in that address only, 12345 address only. But only thing is the reference will be added here. The reference will be added here. So that means all the details, all the address details of all individual object will be stored here. Okay. So generally, one more example is, let's say take a one register, I mean attendance register. So the moment when you see that register, so you will get all the names of the students and with the roll number, but actual students are not sitting in the register. Am I right? So they are staying there, they sit and their places, but they are not coming and sitting in the register book. Okay. So only thing is, but you have the collection of names with their roll number. So in the same way, the whenever you created object, whenever the memory is allocated, so that the memory, that in that address only that object will be stored. But the moment when you add each individual object, okay, each individual object to the collection object, so the collection object will not take entire object and store here. It will store only the address, only the address. That means all object, so whatever the objects you are adding, so those addresses only it will store here. So the moment when you are trying to add, the memory will be increased, and when the moment when you delete, the memory will be decreased. There is nothing limit here. You can add n number of objects. Okay. So are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
What
Yes,
we
sir.
have here, this we can add n number of objects, and also there is no limit. We don't need to specify in advance. And the collection object, how it works, I am explaining. So let's assume programmatically we will see. You don't worry about it. Just try to understand the concept wise. The collection object. This is object. This is object. Everything is object in the Java. So what different objects behaves differently. That's the only thing we have to understand. The collection object. So the collection object, uh, if you add any individual objects to the collection, then that object address only will be stored here. Not actual object will not come and store here. Okay, actual elements will not come and store. Let's assume if it works like that, if it works like that, okay, if it works like that, okay, let's say it took and placed here like this. If it's keep on placing like this, okay, keep on, sorry, keep on placing like this, the memory already occupied here, again here. That means a lot of memory uses. Okay, lot of if they design such a way, if they designed such a way, so it is a lot of memory wastage will happen. Okay. So only thing is they are storing that. Suppose if you want to see all the elements, you can refer this, because you know that all the list of address here. So then you can understand. One more example, you have a list of addresses. Let's say all employees address in a company, list of addresses are there. So we want to we have a paper, so or register or excel or somewhere we listed it out, but actual address place is there in some other location. Not actual memory is not allocated there. So only thing is address directly. If you want to do anything, if you want to communicate anything, then we will refer that address and we will do that generally. So, but you have all the collection of addresses in the such a way, the collection object is nothing but a, so which can refer multiple objects. You can add n number of objects, you can remove n number of objects. So that is the whole way the collection, throughout the collection it works like this only. Okay, in collection framework we have a lot of classes, interfaces, but any collection behavior is the same. Any collection behavior is the same. That means the moment when you create collection object, when you try to add collection object, individual objects to the collection, the it will not store actual object, because the moment when you create object, already memory is allocated. It will not create again duplicate copy. It will just refer the address of that individual object, guys. So this is the main advantage comparing with the arrays concept while handling group of elements. In arrays, we have to specify the size, and also memory wastage will happen if you are not using all the size. And also if you want to add more than the size which you declare, then also it is a problem in the arrays. All the problems will be are rectified in the collection framework. Guys, are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now I think high level concept we understand. You understood, I guess. Okay. And let me talk about what are the different kind of collections we have in collection framework. Generally, it's a data structures, guys. So what is meaning of data structure? The data, how you arrange. Okay, how you are going to arrange. So based on that, you will feel some difficulty or easy while processing the data. Okay. Okay, let me give what is meaning of data structure in a real life. Okay, let's say you have books. Okay, so you got the school, let's assume the school management got a books from the government from first to 10th class. Okay, so then you got a lot of books. So how those books are going to arrange in our school, let's understand. The moment when you get a books, you keep on getting and putting in a one room, it all everything is occupied till door till door. So then, so the moment when you open, so there is not arrangement, there is no, this data structure is nothing but a so there is no proper structure is aligned, and just keep it. Now let's assume in the corner of the bottom there is a 10th class books. Okay, now you want to give a 10th class students game. How you will give, how you have to get all the 10th class books and you have to distribute. How to distribute? What you have to do, because everything is occupied. So you already filled all the books in a room, but the books for the 10th class is on the corner of the room at the till bottom. So then to access that book directly, to get that book directly, it is not easy for you. What you will do, what you have to do, you have to remove, I mean you have to take all other books and keep in outside, and then you have to take. So the data, how he arranged, the moment when he received the book and he arranged it in a room, he has not arranged it properly. That means he has not arranged in some separate racks and separate blocks for individual classes. Okay, and also in a class there is a different subjects. They have not arranged. They just kept without arranging. So that is kind of one data structure. With that data structure, what is the biggest problem? To process, to handle that books. I mean, when you are managing that book, are you facing very so much of time? You are taking so much of time, and also it's very difficult to distribute that book with that process. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, so now so that is the step he has done. That so to the moment when 10th class students or 9th class students when come to that, then what you can do, if you want to give immediately, if you want to access immediately, and if you want to give immediately, then what you have to, what kind of data structure you have to maintain? you have to maintain for each class one rack. Okay, and all for a class, uh, and there will be a different subject. Then you have to maintain separate blocks again. If you are able to maintain the all kind of way without filling everything in a room, if you are maintaining the racks like different blocks, then it is very easy when you are move when someone give you books and you to keep the books and get the books for everything. It's very easy for you with that data structure. In the same way, take your example in our home also. The moment when you arrange the things in a without some data, structure, that means without some planning at all. If you keep wherever you want the things, then the moment when you look for the things, will you find that things immediately? You don't get, because you have not arranged the things properly. Okay, so that is how the data also, there is a group of objects when you are handling. If you are keeping in a proper way, if you want to work with those objects and the data and managing that, so then it will be easy. It will be easy. That is the main thing, guys. So in a real time, if you understand the programmatic also, it will be the same. Okay, I hope you understand the high level thing about the what is the main purpose of the collection framework. Let's start about the hmm, let's talk about the what are the different interfaces in the collection framework we have. In the collection framework, we have different interfaces. Let's try to understand. Um, there is a interface called list, interface called set. Okay, let's talk about these two things first. So what is list and what is set? Okay, generally, guys, tell me the meaning. Don't think in an interface level, programming level. What is meaning of list and what is meaning of set? What is the meaning of list and set? So you guys try to understand and tell me the meaning of list and set, or else give me one example for this.
So set means all kind of same data, sir.
Yeah.
Same data
Okay.
is available and set.
The set means same data available. Okay. List.
Group of
Okay.
data, sir.
Yeah. Everything is group of data only. Okay. So fine. Let's try to understand the list and set. Okay. So I want to take the list of numbers. Okay. List of numbers. Okay. So let's say 1, 2, 4. I want to take list of marks. List of marks. Let's assume forever. Okay. 45, 55, 74, and 45, 22, and 74, and 87. So now you guys tell me, these are what are these? These are the list of
Numbers.
marks. Let's assume these are
Marks.
numbers only. List of marks. Okay. List of marks. I'm just separating with the comma. I'm just separating all the marks with the comma. Now you guys tell me. So did you find any duplicate here?
No, sir.
No, sir. Yes, sir.
74, 50, 45, 45. You have duplicate, right? The list may contain duplicates. List may contain duplicates, where set may not contain. Set is unequal. Each element is unique. Am I right? So this generally the set and list is both are the same, like handling group of elements, group of objects. But list may contain, if you may contain the duplicate values. It can have duplicates, but where set cannot have duplicates. Okay, so that is generally. So that means in our requirement, if you want to handle without duplicate, you have to go for set. If you want to handle with duplicate also, the elements also, you have to, you can use a list concept. This list and set is as part of collection framework only, guys. Okay, so there is a root interface called, you guys understood what is the difference between list and set? List and set both will have the group of elements only, but the list may contain the duplicate values
Duplicates.
and set may not have. So that moment, if you want to handle a group with the duplicates also, then you have to go for list. Okay, then let's say you are storing all the marks of a student. It may have, the marks may have duplicate, right? But in the science subject you can get the 45, in social also you can get the 45, maths also. So it may occur, right? Can you say it will not occur like that?
It may occur.
All marks will not, there is no guarantee, right? The all marks will come in uniquely in a different cannot. Okay, it may get, so there is a scenario will be there. So then when you are storing group of list of marks of a student you are handling, then so what you can do, you have to go for list. If you go for set na, if you keep on adding, the duplicate, all duplicates will go. That means even if you add a duplicate value, the set will not store. Set will not store. We will see that example. But list and set is a difference, you understood, I guess. And the root interface is, I think you guys know that I don't need to talk about more detail again. Interface, guys. So what is interface? The collection. Collection is the root interface, and the list is the sub interface. Okay. That means that means that means so let's understand, this is the list interface. This list interface have the sub interface called, not list, guys, sorry, this list. Collection. This collection interface, the super interface, and the list is the sub interface, and set is the uh,
Sub
sub interface. That means, so what is the super interface for the list and set? The collection.
collection.
Okay. So for each interface, there is already declared the classes. I mean, they have already implemented the classes. You don't need to implement. Just I'm trying to explain the architecture. Already they have created the classes. Okay. Let me list out all the classes. Uh, what are the implemented classes of array list? Sorry, list interface. That is array list and a linked list, and array list, linked list, vector. These are the implemented classes, and so we'll talk individually. What is array list? What is linked list? And what is vector and all? Okay. So what is vector and all? Okay. So like this, we have implemented classes of a set interface. 1 minute, guys. Yeah, sorry. So like this hierarchy will be there. First we will try to understand what is collection, and what are the methods of the collection interface, and what is list, and what are the implemented classes, how we can going to use, and what is the difference between array list, linked list, and vector. Okay, let me show you java.util, guys. There is a java.util package. If you see, there are different uh, sub interfaces of the collection interface. So bean context services, block queue, blocking queue, list and set, and sorted set, transfer set, something like that. But don't worry, because all are similar under this list or set only, because here queue is also there. So these are all indirectly. I will talk about, you will understand that the main thing, mainly sub interface for this collection is a list and set. These are the two things we are discussing, but remaining also will cover. But these are all internally implemented. Okay, let me go and talk about the what are the methods we have in the collection, sorry, collection interface, guys. So look at this. There is a add method, add all method, clear method, contains all the method, equals method, hash code, like this. They have implemented many methods. Now you guys tell me. So so list interface here is the sub interface of which interface, guys?
Collection, sir.
Collection
Collection.
interface. So the list is also interface, collection is also interface, but again here super and sub. Okay, so now that means what they did here, they did list extends collection, list extends the collection. So the list extends the collection. Let me open here. So if you see here, the thing is, add again, a lot of methods are there. That means this is the list is what is the super for the list is the collection. So whoever implementing the list interface, this list also have some methods, and the collection also have the some methods. Whoever implementing the uh, list interface, that person has to implement all the methods of collection and list. Am I right?
Yes,
Otherwise,
sir.
otherwise the compiler won't allow you to compile. I hope you know that what is interface I am talking. So generally the behavior, the moment when you create a class by implementing any interface, so that you have to implement all the methods of the implemented interface. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So then let's assume that collection has 5 methods, this has 10 methods. How many methods you have to implement? While the array list is the implemented class, guys. Array list is implemented by which interface? Array list is implemented by which
List
interface, guys?
interface, sir.
List interface. That means array list has to implement, the code has to be implemented, implement all the methods of the collection and
List.
list. Okay. Now what is this? Array list is a class, list is an interface, collection is an interface, linked list is a class, and vector is also a class. Okay. Now, so we'll see all the look at this, all implemented classes they give. So we already take array list and linked list and vector, and also we'll talk about stack is also there. Okay, we'll talk. But these are, if you see that there are some other classes, abstract. These are not direct implemented class, and that means you cannot create object for these classes because these are the abstract classes. If you can see the keyword, they already added abstract. Can we create object for the abstract class?
No, sir.
No. So that is the reason which we can create object, those classes I am considering. Now you guys understood that. So at this moment, collection is the super interface, list is the sub interface. Under the list, we have array list, linked list, and vector. So but these are all ready, guys. You don't need to work on this. You are just trying to understand what are the things are available. Now you guys tell me, I created object for array list. Array list is a class, right? I created object for array list. So for any class, how to create object? New keyword and class name, call the constructor. Am I right? This is how you will do generally.
Yes,
Let
sir.
me open Eclipse. This is how you will do. So now this object can hold by some reference variable. So what are the ways you can declare to hold this? Let's assume this is the value. This is the object. You want to store this in some variable. So can I declare like this? Can I store like this? Is it correct? Is it correct, guys?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Object type.
The reason, what is the reason? This
Ob-
is a different kind of data. This is a type declare is int, but this is not a int
Int.
type of data. Is it int type of data? No. What kind of data it is? Array list kind of data. Because every class is a data type, right? So array
Yes,
list
sir.
kind of data. Okay. Now, what are the possible declarations you can do this? You can declare the same type of variable, array list. Yeah. This is correct. Am I right? When you create object.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes,
sir.
sir.
And I will add collection. I told the collection is the interface, right? Is it correct, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And I will add list. Is it correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So what is the
Yes, yes.
reason? Because so the interface reference variable, this is the reference variable, can hold all subclass objects of that interface, not other interface subclass. So the class object, which class object you are trying to hold, that class, to hold that class object, you can use the interface reference variables, and or you can use the same class name. Same class name, you know that generally if you create any class, if you want to create object or hold that, you know that. But only thing is interface reference also can hold a subclass object. Now, so okay, now you guys tell me one thing here. I used a collection, guys. Okay, variable name, that's your choice. Whatever you like, you can use. Now I use. So now tell me, what are the methods I can access by using C? Can I access all the methods in a collection interface? Because this array list should implement all the collection and list interface methods or not. Otherwise,
Yes, sir.
we cannot create object. Am I right? That
Sir.
means array list have the implementation of, array list has the implementation of collection
Collection
and
interface. List
collection and
interface.
list interface.
List
So now
interface.
you guys tell me, I use the collection C equal to new array list, and I what are the ways I can, I mean, how, what are the methods I can call by using C?
All methods are available in collection and list, sir.
Yeah, methods are available. So trying to understand one point is the core level concept only, which we talked about earlier. Okay. I'm creating the new class here. Let's try to understand. The class is test class, and I'm adding the public static void main. You don't worry. Okay. guys. Now, so for which class object, for which class I'm trying to create object, guys? Array list.
Array list.
Yeah, I created object. So these angular brackets for now just keep, guys. This is the generic concept. I will talk about that. Okay, array list. We created object for array list. So we can hold this object by using collection also. So now this collection is part of java.util because I imported, look at this, imported array list and collection from that. Now, so now my question is, so this is valid statement or not? The statement which we wrote. This is valid,
Valid, sir.
right?
Valid,
Valid.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now by using C reference variable, what are the methods I can call? You can call add method of the collection interface, add all method of, you can see here, the
Clear.
method is from which area. Okay, it is telling about. Look at this. So that means only we are able to access with what methods? What are the methods we can access from collection interface only,
Collection interface only.
right? Collection
Yes, sir.
interface only. But
Yes,
if I
sir.
want to call a method of list interface which you declared, so can we call by using C? Let's say I want to call the method. What are the method here? Let's say there is a method called here the list iterator, the list iterator method. Okay, list iterator method. I want to call it. Okay. Look at this, guys. Are you able to access list iterator?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
No. The reason is, you know the compilation rules, right? The compiler always will look for the method in the type of the variable, not in the object level, right? So you have to understand, if you use collection reference variable, you can access only the methods which are in collection, but the implementation is done in array list only. But the compilation won't allow you if you are trying to access any other methods which are not part of the collection interface. Sorry, guys. So this list is java.util. Now, so by using C, now what are the methods you can access? You can access all the methods of list also, list and collection, because sub interface can access super, but the super cannot access sub. That is the rule, because we earlier we tried to access by using super reference variable, try to access from the list, that means which is sub. Look at this. Now we have the methods as part of list and collection both. You can see here, right? List and collection also we have that. Look at this. This is the collection also we have that. Okay, so now you can understand that. You can understand that, guys. Okay, so the list is the sub interface of the collection interface. The moment, this is the basic rule, which is not a new thing. I am not explaining here. The basic thing which I explained in the what will happen compilation time when the compiler is compiling the method calling and runtime, those things only. Okay, so this is the array list object, and now let me give it the name is L. Okay, L dot, there is a predefined method if you want to add L dot. So let's say 45. I'm just adding the 45 L dot, and out of so 47. Okay, so like this I added two objects, guys. Okay, so what is the size of the array list by default? I mean, what is the internal architecture we have and how it works? We are going to understand what will happen when you create an object of array list, what will happen when you adding the add method, So add method means, what is meaning of add method? They have given already. So you are trying to add, you are trying to add to the element into element into array list. And what kind of data structure you will go, it will be used. There is one more class called linked list. There is one more class called linked list. Linked list, guys. Look at this. This is L1. Let's say this is L2. L1, L1. So if you are adding, both are the same. Both are the same. But you have to understand these two things. This linked list and array list, both are the implementation class of list interface. What will happen by usage wise? It is easy, guys. Here nothing to worry here. Just creating object and holding that reference variable, adding the element. Okay. If you want to get that already added, L1 dot get of 0 index wise, or else if you want to get um, all the list also, you can get. We have methods. But so here very important thing is, you have to understand, you have array list and linked list, both the purpose is to handle group of values. This also will allow you duplicate value, this also will allow you duplicate value. But the how architecture, I mean the data structure internally, how it works, you have to understand. If you understand the way of working of array list and linked list, then you can decide based on your requirement. You can decide which is the correct one to use. Okay. So array list will use a dynamic array architecture, guys. Dynamic array data structure. Whereas linked list will use node based architecture. So you might understand this concept in where C data structure, there should be a node and arrays concept. There you can understand easily. Okay. Now our goal is adding objects to a array list, simply calling a method and passing the value. That's it. Okay. And getting the values, the usage wise is easy, very easy, coding, writing, and all this. But you have to understand the internal detail of array list, how it works, and linked list also. Then only you can decide which one is the good, because you are having a two kind of feature. Which feature is good for you? Which feature is good for you to use in requirement level? Based on your requirement, you can decide it. And you can use it. So for that purpose, you have to understand the difference between array list and linked list. Okay. So now for time being, I'm just displaying, guys. I'm just displaying L1. L1 is the list, and the second thing is L2. Okay. Now I'm just running it. Okay. Look at this. So we got the behavior. Both are what are the values we added. This is also displaying those values only. This is also displaying those values only. So we have to understand. Detailed information about what will happen at this line. And also when we are printing, how it works. If you are able to understand these internal details, then it will be very, very easy for you while using. And also decision you will take, okay, which is best to use under array list or linked list based on requirement. Okay. So again, the difference is there. The both purpose is same, adding group of elements and handling those. But again, there is a difference with array list and linked list. Okay. So these thing we will understand, and that. So my thing is, from your side, you try to look at all the methods. Okay. All the methods of the list interface, guys, and collection interface, list and collection interface. and try to read some what is the purpose and all. And only thing is try to add elements, get the elements, remove the elements like this, and clear the elements. This kind of activities try to do from your side. And after you have done these things, I will explain the internal detail so that you will understand in a better way. So only thing is just add a group of values and print it and get the values, and look at the methods. What are other methods you have? Not only add method, we have other method also. So what is, so suppose I want to know the, what is the size of this array list. We have a method called size method. That means how many elements is added, how many elements is added, size method. So if I run this code, guys, look at this size, we got 2. Okay, if we add one more thing, size will get 3. Like this, you have different kind of methods, based different purpose. You can look at that and read that and try to use that, do some practice on this, like adding elements and getting elements, displaying elements. Or else if you want to remove the elements, try to remove, first add 3 elements and remove one, first display and then remove one and then display. You will understand whether it is removed or not. Try to do this practice on this array list and linked list. But you don't see any difference between this array list and linked list, the output wise. You don't see, both will work in the same way. Both will work. Suppose if you add 2 elements, and display, both will work. Size also, everything will work same. But you do the practice on both level and look at that, have a look at that. Do you feel any difference or not? You don't see any difference. The way of working of the array list and linked list both will be the same. I mean, not way of working. The output wise, whatever you adding and deleting, getting and all, everything working process will get. But how internally the data structure, difference between array list and linked list, we will try to understand. That is the thing you have to do from your side, guys. Okay, do it, and we will clearly discuss about in detail array list and linked list tomorrow. And then I will talk about a data structure also. Then we are good with the array list, and we have stack and vector, and we will talk about those also, because these are the latest thing. But stack and vectors also, those are the different kind of data structures, guys. Those are also easy. And every these stack or vector, array list, linked list, everything is a implementation implementation classes of
Collection.
collection and list. Mainly we
List.
have to say list. Okay, because these are all part of list, guys. Okay, we are trying to add in group of values, but try to do from your side, add the elements, display and remove. Try to look at the methods and try to use those methods and see. Okay, and try to understand the difference. Are you getting any difference between linked list and arrays? You don't see any difference. Both will be, because now I added 2 and displayed the same, and remove and display, but both will work in the same way. And try to use the methods which are available and do some practice. And in detail, when I talked about this, I will take some example and I will explain this. First I have to talk about architecture, and then I will talk about the mm, some examples, how it works and all. And what is the other differences we have a lot in comparing with array list and linked list. When to use array list, when to use linked list also I will tell. Okay, so when you know the detail, then the decision is easy to take from your side, when to use this array list based on your requirement. So that is the main thing we have to understand. But methods calling and creating object, these are all the, it's not difficult to you, right? So do you feel anything is confusing factor here? This is just we are
No,
creating
sir.
object,
No, sir.
No, sir.
creating object and holding into some reference variable, calling the methods. The methods are we have, and input, we are passing input. Okay, that's it. And system.out.println, this one. So the code is not anything confusing, but very important thing is how it works internally. That is the main thing you have to understand. That I will discuss. But before that, try to practice, try to play something with the methods we have in the API. Okay, guys?
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, if you have any doubt, let me know. Let me clarify
sir.
today itself in the collection, which we discussed till now.
No, sir.
Is everyone is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, guys, I hope you understand. Tomorrow it's a very important thing. Then we will talk about internal detail, and let's see about this array list and linked list, and if possible, vector also.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you, guys. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.